Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, chapter number 15, shlok number 8. Shariram yat avnopati, yaccha api utkramati, Ishvara griyatva etani samyati vayu gandha ashayat. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The living entity in the material world carries his different concepts of life from one body to another, as the air carries aroma. Thus he takes one kind of body and again quits it to take another. Hare Krishna. So these three shlokas before this shlok number 8, that is the seventh, and after shlok number 8, the ninth shlok, these three, 7, 8, and 9, they are combined together to give a very beautiful meaning. So if you see the shlok number 7, where Lord says, the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with 6 senses, which include the mind. So, this is mentioned by Lord here in the 7th shloka, that they are the eternal. Eternal means which is having no beginning or end. So, living entities are eternal part of the Lord. And because of the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard. And why they have this conditioned life? They have conditioned life because of the 6th senses. So, and then the 8th shloka, Lord is saying the living entity in this material world carries different conception of life from one body to another. That means he is taking one body and after that another body. How it is just like the air carries aroma, right? If a air is passing, so if it passes from a flower garden, we get a aroma of very beautiful scent, whereas it passes from foul, we get a foul smell when it passes from a very bad drain or something. So similarly, our body is like that. So our soul is like that. So soul takes one body and after that another body. So this process keeps continuing. So that is why we are also struggling. And the main reason is also given here, right? Because of the senses. And then when you go to the next shloka, where Lord is saying the living entity thus takes the gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eyes, tongue, nose, and the senses of touch, which are grouped about the mind, and thus enjoys a particular set of sense object. Now, if you go back to chapter number 14, the previous chapter, we read about 3 gunas. So, what are those 3 gunas? Rajogunas, Satoguna, and Tamoguna. And we learned that the living entity is entangled because of these 3 gunas. And the chapter 14 also tells us the solution. And what is the solution? To get free from these 3 gunas. So now it is very clear that these 3 gunas are the biggest bondage for us to be there in the material world. So what is the solution for this getting freed from three gunas? Any Prabhujis and Matajis? What is the solution? We know this, we are tangled because of these three gunas. And if we want to get free, what is the solution?
Unalloyed devotional service.
Prabhujis, Matajis?
Engage in a full devotional service.
Are you able
Prabhuji.
to hear my voice?
Engage in full devotional service.
Hare Krishna?
Engage in full devotional service.
Can somebody confirm?
Yeah, we can hear you, Prabhuji.
Engage in devotional service, fully
I
devotional.
am not able to hear.
Engage in fully devotional service.
Just a second. Let me share it again. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, now it is clear. Sorry, I was not able to hear the voice. So hope it is clear now. So my question was like to get free from these three gunas. What is the solution?
Engage in full devotional service.
Yes. Anybody have any other answers?
Taking the shelter of the Supreme Lord by
Yes.
chanting, hearing, association of devotees, taking prasadam.
Yes. Correct. So the whole thing is we have to take the shelter of Lord. Now the thing is, it is not simple. It is not so simple. Why it is not so simple? See, taking shelter of Lord, one can always say, ki, what is the problem here? It's so easy, we can just always hear, we can do kirtan, we can take prasadam. But again, Prabhupada is mentioning here, ki it is not very easy as well as it is not very difficult. So why it is not so simple? It is not simple because our one leg is in the material world and our other leg is in the spiritual world. So we are actually sometimes we are into this spiritual practice, and sometimes, or you can say most of the times, we are in the material world. We are attached to so many things. So until we give up this attachment, so we have to turn opposite to the material world. But then again, it doesn't mean that we will stop our duties, right? So in this world, we have different roles, right? Somebody is wife, somebody is husband, somebody is grandfather, somebody is manager, somebody is housewife. So different roles we are playing. So because of that, we are also getting attached, but that doesn't mean ki we stop doing that. So these are our duties. So we have to understand here ki what is our duties. So when you go back to this 15th chapter and you see the overview of this chapter, in this 15th chapter, the first 6 slokas, it talks about liberation, attaining liberation from liberation by detachment. So only through detachment, the liberation is possible, right? You may be in the Grihastra Jivan, you may be a sannyasi, brahmachari, or whatever. You have to practice the detachment. and then you get the liberation. So what is the problem if you don't get the liberation? Then the problem is this bondage and transmigration, moving from one soul to another soul. That is called as transmigration. Right? So from Shlok number 7 to 11, it talks about this bondage and transmigration. So again, this Shlok number 7, the previous shloka. So here Krishna is telling about all living entities in the conditioned life. They are my amsha, jiva bhuta sanatana. So they are eternal part and parcel of myself. So we are amsha and we are sanatana amsha. So this is important because you see personalist, the Mayavadi, they have an idea that we become with God. We will merge with God. So it is said that we are part, so we can be part. So the question here is how we know that Lord is whole and we are part. So how this part can become whole? It is not possible. So actually, we never merge with Lord. We remain part and parcel. So we are not just, you can say, like, we are not just spark of the spirit. So if Lord is the spirit, we are not just the spark of that spirit. We are part of spiritual person. So example are given that Supreme Lord is like a big fire and we are like spark, right? So spark cannot actually go back to the big fire, but it always be around that big fire. So that way we have to actually understand this. So then here one very important term called as karshati means struggling and suffering. So this is also expressed earlier. So what is expressed earlier? The struggling and suffering. So many places we have seen in Bhagavad Gita that the dukhalayam ashvashatam, right? And then anityam asukham lokam, and then janma mityu jara vyadi. So this material world is the place of misery and it is referred by different words. So in this shloka, it is referred as karshati, means struggling and suffering. So who is struggling and suffering? The body or the soul? So actually the soul is struggling and suffering. We always think that the body is struggling and suffering, right? So it is only the perception. So like karshati, struggling and suffering, it is expressed in earlier also dukhalayam. This word is dukhalayam, and then anityam sukham lokam, and then janma mityu jaravadi. So this material world is the place of misery and this living entity is suffering over here. So the struggle about happiness and suffering is happening because of mind and senses. Nothing else. Mind and senses. So normally, Indriyas are considered as 5, right? But in Bhagavad Gita, Indriyas are often grouped with mind. So even when Krishna was talking about Sankhya in chapter number 13, shlok number 6, he also said that Indriyani das ekam cha. So there are actually 7. So we may wonder ki senses are or the Indriyanis are 5, right? But in Bhagavad-gītā, somewhere it is referred as 6, somewhere Lord is saying as 11. So what are these 11 actually? So Krishna is telling that these 11s are like including 5 karmendriya. So what are karmendriyas? Voice, legs, hand, anus and genital. And then you have 5 jnanendriyas, which are the knowledge acquiring senses. They are eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. And then the 11th one, the mind. Nobody talks about that. The mind is the biggest, you can say, friend or, the enemy. So he is bound up by the false ego, and the mind is the chief agent. It is clearly mentioned as the mind is the chief agent which is driving him in this material existence. So the mind is, so you consider like this, when your mind is in the mode of goodness, your activities are good. And when the mind is in the mode of passion, the activities are, how will be the activities? Activities will be troublesome. And when the mind will be in the mode of ignorance, he travels in the lower species of life. That means in lower planets or the life of animals within this planet also, the lower species of life. He can become anyone. There is no guarantee that next birth you will become human. There is no guarantee. So these 3 modes of nature, goodness, passion and ignorance. So your mind is very, very important. Where you keep your mind. If you keep, so you see, Lord is saying here that we have some freedom to decide actually. So we don't have the power of everything like Lord can do anything. We cannot do everything, but he has given this power, and this power is very important. You can actually decide where you want to go. So this slok number 8, the living entities in the material world carries his different conception of life from one body to another, as the air carries aroma. Thus he takes one kind of body and again quits, and he takes another kind of body. So shariram yat avnauti. So one gets the sharira. What kind of sharira? That will depends on one's karma. So this we have discussed many times. Ultimate all boils down to karma. So when the wind blows through a fragrant garden, then the wind will carry the fragrance. Similarly, the soul acquires different concepts of life. How is this life meant to be enjoyed? Some people are sadist. You have seen some people are sadist. Means they enjoy more if they see others into pain or problem. And good example is Mrigari. We have seen he was a sadist, right? So in goodness, we want to be happy and we want others also to be happy, right? So especially you see devotees, he want not only to be happy, but if he sees somebody into trouble or problem, right? He cannot keep quiet. He try to help the other person. So his mind is like this. He want to be happy. He want other to be happy. So in transcendence, we wanted to give up our happiness for the sake of other. That is actually love. And what happens in passion? We want to be happy. Other does not matter. So, but we want to enjoy. People who are in passion, they want to be happy. They want to enjoy. They don't bother whether the other person or the other living entity, whether he is happy or not, it doesn't matter to him. So in contrast, now the ignorance, the people who are in the mode of ignorance, they want to be happy and they want other to be in miserable state, like we have discussed Megari, right? So there are so many Megaris you can see in this world also, right? So it is very horrible. So different people have different concepts of what makes them happy. Now the word Ishvara indicates the point that the soul can choose its destination by choosing to do right things. As we see, this Vayurgandha, right, is there, but still soul can choose, it can direct its journey to transmigration. Transmigration will happen, but where we'll go, that choice we have. We have the choice. So the soul gives up one body and takes up the another body, depends on what kind of conception of soul will acquire. So that we can choose. Now the next slok, when you see the living entity thus take another gross body, obtain certain type of ear, eyes, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. Thus, he enjoys a particular set of sense objects. So, that means you see this present condition of yours. If you are so much attached to your house, what will happen? The next birth, depending on your karma, if you don't get the human body, you may become dog of that house or may become a cockroach which will be residing in that particular place, in that particular house. So your senses actually will drag you to some place, and based on that, your next body goes. So it is just like Prahlad Maharaj says. He used to say that a person who is having many wives, right? Person who is having many wives are dragged, correct? Sometimes one wife will drag, sometimes the other wife will drag. Similarly, the soul is dragged by senses. Sometimes all the senses are attached to one sense object, but often they are in different directions, right? Try to understand this. The sense objects are attracted towards one sense object. Sometimes sense objects means sometimes it will be some fragrance or some beautiful scenery or some beautiful woman or some beautiful man. So this way the soul tries to enjoy, but the soul get bounded. We have seen Bharat Maharaj, right? He used to do a lot of bhakti, but last moment he was attached to this deer and his soul get bounded. And the next birth, he took the body of deer. Like the five fingers are centered around the palm, right? We have this five finger, they are centered around our palm. Similarly, the five senses are centered around mind. That is why the sixth sense, the mind, is so important. The inputs from all the senses comes to mind. So try to realize this. The inputs from all the senses comes to mind. So in our brain, there are different neurons, everybody knows, right? For capturing different aspects. So different parts of our brain capture different things like color, actions. We have neurons, right? To capture all this in the brain. So color, action, shape. But there is no part of brain which are like integrating all these things. So different neurons in brains, they try to perceive different things like color, action, but there is no integration actually between them. So all these things happens at synchronous at one instance. This is mystery even for the neuroscientist. How these inputs are integrated, as there is no physical thing which can actually integrate this. So this integration is done by actually your mind, which is different from brain and your subtle. So mind is basically subtle. So all these signals which are coming are routed through the subtle body. What is the subtle body? Subtle body is mind, intelligence, and false ego. And the subtle body represent to the soul. So your soul is actually a representation of this subtle body. Subtle body is mind, intelligence, and false ego. And remember, when the soul leave this body, along with the soul, only this subtle body goes. Mind, intelligence, false ego. Nothing else. So that is why this is how actually you get bound basically. You take the other body. And then the soul takes the decision and try to enjoy. Right? So we are concluding here now. The conclusion is that consciousness is pure. If the spirit soul is pure, so that is why we called it as Krishna consciousness, right? So what is Krishna consciousness? We are actually trying to purify our consciousness. That is what is Krishna consciousness. The love for God can happen only when your consciousness is pure. And without loving God, you cannot get the shelter. So the whole part is the consciousness has to be pure. We remember this thing we discussed before also. Our spirit soul is never impure. It is always pure. But when we come to this material body based on our consciousness, it becomes impure. So, but consciousness is changed according to the association of material qualities. So, very important here, we have to remember that consciousness is changed according to the association of material qualities. So, as we just discussed, we have a choice. So, Prabhupada said consciousness is pure only when we do ABCD. Remember this? So, what is ABCD? A for
Association,
association.
books,
B for book,
association, books,
books. C for
C for chanting, and D for diet.
chanting. D for diet. So, this ABCD is so simple to remember. That is why Prabhupada said the whole concept is purification of our consciousness. That can only happen when we practice. So, as we very well know, right? For everything we want to do in this life. So, Matajis do cooking, right? So, it's not when they do the cooking, it's not that they directly go into kitchen, cook something, and give it to some devotees or to some um, guests, right? They practice it. They practice cooking. Similarly, if somebody want to become a IAS officer, he has to practice he have to do lot of studies. A doctor want to become a surgeon, he has to practice. So everything you see in this world, we come here and we do practice. The moment we born, we are a small kid, right? We start practicing how to speak, how to stand, how to walk. So everything comes with practice. Similarly, this ABCD is nothing but practicing, right? The pureness, how you can purify your soul is also through practice. And this can be done by practicing ABCD. So very important, always association is the most important. You may say, ki I know Bhagavad Gita, I have gone through it so many times, I heard it so many times. But if you don't have association with the pure devotees, very important. So association is so important. We are discussing here, right? The fragrance depends on from where the air is passing by. All the time you're getting some kind of smell, right? If the air is coming from very good place, you get a very good fragrance. If it is coming from the bad place, you get a foul smell. So that is why our soul, it is very important that the association has to be done with the devotees. The moment you do it with the conditioned people, the people who are in the mode of passion, people who are more in the ignorance, then your mind, your consciousness also become like that. And then you know that suffering, right? Karshati. The purport, you can see that important word. Struggling. Keep on struggling. So life is, we cannot say ki we just, okay, people what they are doing, okay, I'm enjoying. How long you enjoy? Just you take one thing, you enjoy just temporary. This enjoyment is temporary. Then you move on to another thing. Then you move on to another thing. So you take this moment also, right? So we assembled here for association, right? Whereas you see some people, the morning they open, they will put on the TV, watching some, movies or some serials, some enjoyment they want, right? So there is a difference. The fragrance. So what kind of, from where you are passing this air, from where you are passing this soul. So it is very important. Our mind should be always engaged out of these four things: association, book reading, chanting, and the diet, which is nothing but prasadam, only prasadam. So whatever you are eating, it may be vegetarian food, but if you're not offering to Krishna and then eating that, so Krishna is saying you are eating sin. Right? So very important. If you are not able to offer also, at least offer water, put one tulsi leaf. So here, if you are not able to read, just here, right? And then chanting. Chanting we can always do. We can do chanting. Some people say ki I have some problem. I don't have hand. How I will chant? You can always chant through mind. So these four things are very important for our consciousness to become pure. Otherwise, the choice is ours, right? Lord has given this power to us. And this small power is so important. Whether we want to continue suffer. The people who are in ignorance, they even don't know that they are suffering. They don't know about this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Right? Even people who are in the mode of passion, only through association, book reading, chanting, and taking prasadam, a person can realize that the actual struggle is this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So time is running out. Time is running out. We don't know how long, how many breaths we have. So that is why Prahlad Maharaj, right? From the 5 years, Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, so many examples are there. Started from, they are saying ki it is emergency. Prabhupada mentioned, right? Krishna consciousness is not the need, but it is the emergency. So immediately we have to think about it. If we don't want to struggle further, we have to take the shelter of Lord. So Hare Krishna, thank you for giving the association. Any comments or any questions around this? We
Hare
can
Krishna,
take.
Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
The concept of ABCD, that acronym was very good, Prabhuji. And
Yes.
then the soul purity, that was also very nice. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. So
Prabhuji,
very.
what is the picture behind you, Prabhuji? The location.
So Mataji, it is the TOVP in Mayapur, the new temple which is coming up, Vedic Planetarium. So the new temple inside the Mayapur temple campus.
How long it will take some to finish?
So Mataji, I mean, it is going from long time, as you know, lot of fund is required to complete it because it is going to be one of the biggest and unique planetarium, right? We are hearing like another 1 year, 2 year, it will get over. But a lot of things are completed here. And if you visit Mayapur, then you will also get a chance to uh, see inside what is going to come up and what is already completed. So they have very often the tour of TOVP inside where you can actually see how the things are coming up. But it is very beautiful. One must visit Mayapur and see the TOVP, how it is coming up. So the actual completion is also dependent the donation because it requires a lot of funds to complete because uh, if you see the tomb of the uh, emblem, you see that itself costing somewhere 250 crore, which is made of complete gold. So inside, it is complete Vedic planetarium they have uh, building up inside. So the whole idea is like when you go inside, so the complete Brahmanda, how it looks, how you can go inside and you can see how it looks. And so many things, people just seeing it, one can realize how is our Brahmanda and how, and then there are various other things like in one particular time, thousands of devotees can actually take the darshan of Lord and together they can do the chanting, hearing, and all the darshan can be done there. So, though Mayapur temple is very big campus, and the temple is also very big, but through this Vedic planetarium, so it will attract lakhs and lakhs of people. Even if today, if you go, you can see the devotees who are already going from past many years, they can see every year so many devotees are actually coming to take the darshan. So after this TOVP, it will be manifold. The number of devotees will be many folds and lakhs of people will come. Now, even in during festivals, we can see per day like lakhs of people are gathering there. So,
River there, Prabhuji, there is a river behind.
yes, Mataji, there is a river. So you see this river is Ganga River and also the merging of Jalangi River, which is coming from Bangladesh. That is why you can see when you go to this Mayapur, you can see the two rivers are merging, but the colors are different. You can clearly see the color of Ganga River is different and the color of Jalangi river, which is coming from Bangladesh, is different. So they don't mix up. They don't mix up. You can always see that one is dark green color and one is little muddy color. So one is nothing but Ganga and the other is Jalangi river. So which is just next to the temple. So ISKCON also organize Ganga Puja daily, where they take you in the boat and do the Ganga Puja in the river Ganges. So that is one of the activities which happens daily. So very nice. And you see, when you go there, you see that. So as we know that it is one of the dham also, right? So like Vrindavan. So the complete ambience, and you can feel the difference. Everywhere you see, there is only Harinam. Even a person who is cleaning the drain, or a person who is milking the cow, they are just singing, they are just chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Yes,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it is
Dandavat Pranam. Thank you,
there.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji, you are asking something?
Yes, Prabhuji. Suppose you want to live there, what will be the rent or cost, or like this? Be there and do service. It's West Bengal, no, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it is part of the West Bengal. So where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born. So as we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was the incarnation. He came 500 years back, and he is the incarnation of Radha and Krishna. That is why he was in the form of molten golden form. His color, his body color was golden form, because he was the mixture of Radha and Krishna, and he wanted to. He came there as a pure bhakta. He wanted to. Krishna wanted to have a feeling or enjoyment of a pure bhakta in the. So like Radharani, we know Radharani. She was like how she was. She used to uh, realize Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the so he took the birth there. So Nimai, called as Nimai. So in Mayapur, you have Navdeep. So 9 Deepas consist of Mayapur. Basically, Mayapur is actually situated there. So actually Navdeep, 9 Deeps. So which is surrounded by river Ganges. So it is part of West Bengal. So first you have to go, if you are going by flight or if you are going by train, first time you are going, so you can take the flight to Kolkata, or you can go by train to Kolkata. And from there, around 2.5 hours journey towards Mayapur. Right? So where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born 500 years back, and he has done lot of leelas. So you can see, so Mughals were there, right? So Chandakaji was that time Mughal emperor there, and he tried to actually. So as we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started this Harinam Sankirtan, where the association of devotees started. Everybody used to gather together, and they used to do kirtan. They used to come outside. Even now you see, when we go to temple, we have Nagar Kirtan, right? Where all devotees go outside the temple, they go to the streets and do Nagar Kirtan. Similarly, it started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nagar Kirtan used to happen. And that time, this Mughal emperor was there. You know that Mughal Shashan was there, right? So Chandakazi was there. And he tried various way to stop Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing that. And you know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not the ordinary person. He was the incarnation of Lord Krishna. And he made Chandakaji fall down to his feet at the end. So you can also, when you go to Mayapur, you can see Chandakaji's Samadhi is there. And there is a tree, Kadamba tree, which is 500-year old. Still, you can see that tree where the Samadhi of Chandakaji is present. And that complete area is Muslims, and they are the witness. Their forefathers, they were the witness. And then the Hindus, the devotees are there, right? So when you go there, you can actually see that wow, different leelas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years back. So
Thank you, Prabhuji.
yeah. So this earlier it was like Navadip, Navdhams. So this is Dhama, right? And Dham is not an ordinary place where Lord Krishna comes and do his Leela is called as Dham. So like Vrindavan, it is Mayapur Dham. So where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and he has done so many pastimes are there. Lot of pastimes are there. So you can always plan to visit there. And if you are in Bangalore, then or in other places, from ISKCON, they take you to Mayapur. So every time there are frequent travel arrangements are there. You can go with devotees to Mayapur or Vrindavan and actually do the bhakti. So very important, at least to go one time to this dham and make you realize that these are not the ordinary place. These are the places where Lord appeared.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. So if there is no other questions, we'll end here and we'll join tomorrow with the other set of slokas. So we'll chant one time for all our spiritual progress. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Thank you, devotees.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mahaprabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for joining. We'll join tomorrow. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam to everybody.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.